Hello, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. I'm so thankful you're here with us. We are in a journey, a verse-by-verse Bible study through the book of Genesis. Check out the playlist. We're on lesson 56, and we're in one of the great love stories of the Bible. Sister Waldron and I, we're not in the Bible. We're in the Lamb's Book of Life. Jacob and Rachel. So this is cool. Jacob, as we know by the setting, is fleeing from his brother because his brother's really mad because Jacob has been stealing things from him, such as his birthright and his blessing. So let's get started again. Thanks for being with us. We're in lesson 56 here in Journey Through Genesis. Thanks for being with us. All right, chapter 29, verse 1. Then Jacob went on his journey. He had been sleeping in the middle of the desert kind of thing, and came into the land of the people of the east. Now, that's kind of the Fertile Crescent, which includes Israel, the northern part in Mesopotamia, but the far western part of Mesopotamia. But that's still the people of the east. And you kind of go Genesis 11, they're traveling, the people after the flood, Tower of Babel episode. So in that general area, and he looked, and behold, a well in the field. Water, big deal in the ancient world. You either needed to be by a river, stream, or where wells could be digged. And it is fascinating if you study the archaeology of wells from 3,900 years ago, which is when this is taking place. It's incredible to me how they could get down that far, brick it, all kinds of stuff. The time of David and Saul, they could walk down the wells. I've been there, walked maybe a little bit down wells in the Holy Land. So verse 2, he looked, and behold, there a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, obviously, so they could drink. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. That's an interesting study in Scripture about great stones, like in the tomb of Jesus, and rolling stones away. Verse 3, and thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. A lot of reasons for that. Protection, water purity, didn't want animals falling in, drowning, didn't want children falling in, drowning, didn't want their flocks falling in, drowning. A lot of reasons. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. So this goes all the way back to Genesis chapter 11, Genesis chapter 12, when Abram comes up out of Ur to Haran. Some people say there was more than one Haran in that area, but the general thing, the Fertile Crescent, goes like this, and it's kind of towards the northern part, kind of in what we would call northeastern Syria today, or possibly far western other places of the land. Some would even say extreme southern Turkey. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? Now you have to remember, he's just traveling north by, the direction of the sun, the stars. There was no GPS back then. He didn't have maps. Probably Perry Reese map wasn't done yet. Even the famous Greek the Anthracium things is considered to be the first computer the Greeks had on their ships that found mechanisms, what I'm hunting for, that could follow stars and all that. He didn't have any of that, so he's having to travel. So he's like, where am I? There was probably no sign saying, welcome to Haran, anything. So, and he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor, or Laban? And they said, We know him. And he's like, yes, my family. Notice he'd called them brethren. So maybe they had some physical characteristics together. Maybe, spake the same language. Or maybe that was just a general Middle Eastern greeting at the time. Verse 6, And he said unto them, Is he well? Is Laban well? This is my uncle. And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. Another great study. All the shepherds in the Bible, Moses, David, and Rachel, and Abraham. I mean, that's pretty cool. Isaac. So Rachel was a shepherd. And I'm sure Rachel wanted to get married to Jacob so she could get out of the shepherding business, so to speak. Let hubby spend the night under the stars doing all this. Anyhow, verse 7, and he said, Lo, it is yet high day. It's the middle of the day. Neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Cattle is any domesticated animals for food, that type thing. So it doesn't, we think of cattle just like as cows. Back then it was, just four-legged creatures of any sort. You call sheep flocks and all this, but cattle, as you go back to Genesis chapters 2, 3, seems to be, and even chapter 1 of Genesis, seems to be this generic term for, again, domesticated animals for food. So neither is time that the cattle should be gathered together. So even though he was a plain man, a man of tents, he still knew husbandry. And then it's a colon, meaning the thought's fixing to change. Water ye the sheep and go and feed them. And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. So he's like, okay, it's not time that it should happen, but let's go ahead and do it. And they're like, no, we do this in order. You're a newcomer here. We do it the same way every day. We're waiting for all the flocks to be gathered together. Then we do it, and everybody has it happen. Verse 9, and while he yet spake with him, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. That's fascinating. I've got in my notes David and Rebekah. And it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother. So it's going to be his first cousin. His first cousin. And the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother, his uncle. And so he just goes and does it himself. Now, this is a plain man. Esau is the tough guy in the field that he's scared of. And here he is. He's like, ugh, I'm going to show Rachel a feat of strength, maybe, showing off a little bit. Verse 11, and Jacob kissed Rachel, first cousin. Kissing cousins in the Bible. Oh, no. Perish the thought. And lifted up his voice and wept. Now, maybe this is cathartic, that he's fleeing from Esau, fleeing for his life, seeing the vision of angels ascending and descending, God coming and speaking to him, and Jacob making deals with God, quite the deal maker. Maybe, it says he saw Laban's sheep. Maybe he's thinking, wealthy family, maybe there's a lot of sheep there, because he was raised in a very wealthy household in Rebekah and Isaac's household. Maybe he's in love with Rachel already. Maybe it was love at first sight. Verse 12, and Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, were first cousins, and that he was Rebekah's son. And here's another theme all throughout the book of Genesis. And she ran and told her father. I mean, you have Abraham at 99 years old when the three men, Jehovah and two angels, meet him in Genesis 18, running. I mean, it's just they're running everywhere. It came to pass when Laban heard the tidings, this is verse 13, of Jacob, his sister's son. Remember, Mark was sister's son to Barnabas in the New Testament, that he ran to meet him. So now Laban's running, daddy's running, and embraced him and kissed him. That's the Middle Eastern custom. Sister Waldron's got some cousins that are Cuban, Brazilian. They still do this kiss, and it's just kind of unique. We don't do that here in the West. And embraced him, kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. So he's like, here's how I got here. Verse 14, and Laban said to him, surely thou art bone, my bone and my flesh. That harkens back to Genesis 2, but not in that way. And he abode with him the space of a month. So remember, in Jacob's mind, he's waiting on mom Rebekah to send word for him to come back. Esau's calm now. That never happened. None of the daddy, mama's servants, they had, just never happened. So I'm just waiting here till my brother Esau calms down. Verse 15, and Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother. Remember, Lot was Abraham's nephew, but still they said brother. So it just meant relative. You're going to find that all throughout the Old Testament, even in the New Testament. You know, Jesus, son of David, son of Abraham. It just means close relative. Shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? It said, you're going to get to work. You've been here a month, but I'm going to pay you. This is a family business. You're my relatives. Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. Verse 16, the name of the elder was Leah. The name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed. And, you know, probably we would say she needed glasses in today's society. But Rachel was beautiful. Now, she wasn't just beautiful in her face, but well-favored meant she had a figure. Now, you might say, well, that sounds misogynistic or something. No, because you're going to get later, Joseph is well-favored too. It means he broad shoulders, brawny kind of thing. The Bible's just so truthful in its descriptions. Verse 18, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So again, one of the great love stories. Now, a lot of people say 7 years, you know, tribulation, that this is a typology of, you know, maybe Jews in the tribulation, maybe Gentile bride, all kinds of stuff. Let's just keep going. But 7 does seem to be a significant number in the Bible, and 7 years seems to be significant. Verse 19, and Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. In 7 years, that's next lesson, we're going to find how significant it is in a certain way. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. Now, there seems to have been some type of age difference. You get your Reese Chronological Bible. Seems like maybe Jacob was quite a bit older, just like Isaac was maybe a little bit older than Rebekah. But just think of that love. 7 years, it seemed like just a few days. And we always teach our young ladies, you know, don't be desperate. Don't be searching for Mr. Right now. Search for Mr. Right. And the man should pursue the woman, according to Scripture. And she should be, and he should be willing to wait. And I know, like instances teaching at Indiana Bible College, we've seen that. People say we love each other, God wants us to get married, but we're going to wait till we both graduate college, on and so forth. But it seemed like just a few days because he is entranced with her love. But Jacob is about to start reaping what he sowed. And no doubt Leah, Laban thought, surely somebody's going to take Leah in this 7-year period. Didn't happen. So thanks so much for watching. Do check out our playlist. We're also taking a journey through Proverbs. We finished the book of Romans, and we're also in the book of Matthew. Check those out. Pray for us. Hit subscribe and the bell notification. Put it on social media. God bless. We love you. Amen.